What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Joe, just your average Joe. We are hanging out on a Monday morning, a nice brisk Monday morning here in North Carolina. It is the 20th of January. We had some decent sales come through on eBay between Friday and today. Pretty much hit goal, nothing crazy, but 200 a day or 1400 for the week is my goal. And between Friday and today, we did about 200 bucks a day, give or take. So not too bad, not too bad. You know, not great, but not bad. I'll take it, considering we're after it's a past fourth quarter, and you know things tend to slow down a little bit around these times. Now, I will say I've been putting stuff up on eBay the past several days. I've been trying to hammer out getting some of my things that I've been needing to get up. So that's a good thing. Some new things have sold, some old things have sold. So we'll cover those here shortly. Obviously, comments is what we enjoy doing here first, is kind of going over all y'all's comments. So if you're new to the channel, definitely drop comments. If you're new to reselling, been reselling a while, thinking about reselling, whatever the case is, make sure you drop comments. That's probably one of the best ways you can support the channel. Subscribe, which we did pop up like 7 subscribers over the weekend, which is amazing. So I appreciate you guys subscribing, you new folks. I'm looking forward to some of your comments as well. I think we already had a few new folks comment. So we'll tackle those and cover those. But obviously, like the videos, subscribe, watch the videos. Did I say like the video? Like the video, subscribe, and watch. Those are probably the best 3 ways you can support the channel. But otherwise, we'll go ahead and start diving in. This is all raw and unedited. It's how we do around here. So hopefully you enjoy the content. Hopefully we can drop some nuggets along the way. That's the whole point. Some videos may have more good stuff, meat and potatoes that can help you, and other videos may just be chit-chatting a bit and then getting into what sold, and that's that. Obviously, as weather, well, I'm not going to say as weather gets nice, because it's here in North Carolina, at least where I'm at. Yard sale season is pretty much all year long. It just slows down in the winter time and picks back up in the spring and summer. But my plan is to give you a different dynamic. I have put out a few videos in the past with me outsourcing with my camera, my GoPro. I've done a couple videos of me tinkering and fixing things and cleaning stuff, and how I process that stuff up in my bonus room. My plan is to do a little bit more of that come spring, summer, to give you guys a little bit different view of what I do as well, and how I do what I do. You know, especially when it comes to video game resellers, because I still look for everything, and I'm a seller of everything from clothes to shoes to collectibles. I mean, you name it, I'll pick it up. In my experience over the years, if I know I can make money on it, and or it catches my eye, you know, I will pick it up. I remember, you know, just as an example, picked up a Corvette charging, like a charger block, like a charging station for a Corvette at a yard sale one time for like 10 bucks. I just said to myself, that's got to be worth something, right? And we'll get home, and it was like $150 charging block for like $10. So, I mean, you know, whatever it is that either catches my eye, I have a good hunch. I've been doing this for a long time, so I normally have good hunches on stuff. I don't like breaking out my phone and looking stuff up. Now, are there occasions where I'll go back to my truck, look it up, and go back out and you know, make an offer or pick up said item? Occasionally, but for the most part, I try to, you know, I pride myself in the fact that I'm knowledgeable enough in most things to be able to know what to pick up and what not to pick up. Not to say I'm perfect, not to say I haven't left stuff on the table. You know, I've walked away from stuff that's been more, you know, big money, probably. I'm sure I have. You know, obviously I don't think anybody's perfect in that regard, but pretty good at what I do. So I don't like to break out my phone and all that kind of stuff. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but obviously, when you start doing that, people know right off the bat you're a reseller. I don't like to come across as being a reseller. That's just, you know, because then people sometimes want to, some people, not a lot of people, but some people have a negative view of resellers. So they want to, you know, anyway, we can get it. That's a whole topic of conversation we could get into. But anyway, so I just rather not. I'm just a dude, man. Just a dude buying some stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Dive in, and then we got I think like 17 or 18 sales to cover. So let's go ahead and get started. So this video is not too long. 30-ish, 30, 35-ish minutes. I'd like to stick around typically. Obviously, Mondays are heavier volume than any other day, so usually our Monday videos are a little longer than normal. But anyway, the Electron Man is the first one that popped in, commented, and said, I think I put estate sales and Goodwills on the same level. Both want eBay prices, which if they want those prices, then they can sell it on eBay, but they want that money without the effort. 100%. I will say that, I've said it before, you can get decent stuff, or good stuff even, through estate sales and Goodwills, but not a lot of stuff falls through the cracks. I would say more stuff falls through the cracks at estate sales than Goodwill. But because I have not scored anything major. And when I say, I don't even want to say it that way, because scoring major stuff doesn't happen a ton. So I don't want to come across like, the probability of even coming across major stuff at yard sales. I mean, you definitely get good deals and get good stuff. And so I will just say, in my experience, going to Goodwills typically yields not very much purchasing stuff because there's not enough margins and or the prices, or it's stuff that I'm really not looking to get into. Estate sales, though, I will say I've come across some gems, and that's why I don't mind estate sales. I just don't like the whole line thing, waiting in line, having to be there hours early, especially if you want to get the good stuff. And they do typically overprice. Is there still margins to be made? Can you still make money on the stuff? Yes. Do they miss things? Absolutely. I remember picking up a mid-century modern. Two things actually that stick out: a mid-century modern green half moon, like what's a bowl? Ashtray, anyway, it was a green ashtray, mid-century modern from like the 40s, 50s. And I remember selling that thing for like $90 or something. I think I picked it up for $5. So, can they catch everything, all the little trinkets and little things all throughout the house? A lot of times they just slap prices on them, while other bigger items or hot ticket items they know are worth money, they look them up and then they're, like you said, they're trying to get closer to eBay. So, that's where, you can still get some pretty, you can still sneak in some things, like I remember picking up a vase, a Fenton, nice, like white, blue, teal vase that was probably about 13, 14 inches tall. Beautiful piece amongst a plethora of other glassware. Fenton is the only one that I really know well enough to intrigue me to pick up. I think I picked it up for $30. And it was just beautiful. No chips, gorgeous condition. I picked it up for $30. I remember I walked by the auction guy and he said, "Oh, that's a good pickup." And because they don't have time to do all of it and price everything and comp everything. So again, those bigger ticket items, stereos and TVs and video games, they know are hot ticket items, collectibles, that stuff they're pricing, some maybe paintings and, whatever they may, they're going to look up and stuff, and they're going to price accordingly close to eBay, if not eBay. But there's a lot of other things, especially in a house that has a ton of stuff. They just don't have the time to go through all of it. So there's going to be those little $10, $10, $10, $10, $5, $5. And then if you know what you're doing when it comes to those trinkets and glassware and things like that, you can do pretty well. I'm not that guy, but I do know a little bit about that stuff. So I think I sold that Fenton, if I remember correctly, I sold that Fenton vase for like $350, $375. It was a great pickup, great flip, great pickup. But anyway, so yeah, I'm there with you. Goodwill's, estate sales, not my cup of tea. I don't mind estate sales. I just don't like if I'm yard sailing, normally I map myself yard sales. Like, I'll go on Marketplace and I'll go on yardsale.com. I'll kind of map myself around kind of map a circle around my town. And I have like 13 locations, or I've got 20 spots that I'm going to that day. I try to kind of map them out, which ones I want to go to first based on what their ad says. I may start somewhere and then start looping because I don't want to go here and then there and then back over here and then back down there and then back over here and then back over here and then back over there. You know what I mean? Like, that's, by the time you're done, you're spending 5 hours just driving around. So, I try to map myself in a circle-ish, the best possible. And if I happen to see an estate sale as I'm driving on a Saturday morning, if it's not 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock before, when the line is still there, then, if it's 10 o'clock, sometimes 9, because sometimes I open like 7 or 8. So, whatever time it is, if there's no line, I might pop out, stop in, and just look around real quick and see what they got. But they're not my preferred. I used to actually religiously, when I was a little bit more hardcore, my other business, my football helmet business, wasn't going very well. I was hardcore on Thursdays and Fridays, because usually they open up estate sales like on Thursday or Friday. I would go and I'd be the first one. I'd camp out. I think I camped out at like at least a dozen. But that's what just turned me off on them. I bring my chair. I'd camp out, and I'd be like the 5th person, the 3rd person, the 7th person. You have to get there 2 hours early, especially if it's a good estate sale. It's just not my cup. But then you're there for 20, 30 minutes, and you camped out for 2 or 3 hours. It's like, man, and then you got people rushing in trying to grab a lot of the same stuff you were looking at. And it's just, I don't like that aspect of it. I don't like that they only allow like 5 people in at a time, 10 people in at a time. So, that's the other thing is like, anyway, estate sales are something I still do, but not much. So, but Goodwill, I hardly ever pop in Goodwills anymore. Definitely not my cup of tea at all. Steven is the next one up. Steven, appreciate you commenting. Steven says, hey, brother, what happened to your Lions this year? Steven, my Lions, well, see what happened. What happened was they don't have an offensive coordinator, and our defense is all banged up. Our O-line is banged up, our defense is banged up, and we have no offensive coordinator. So we addressed those things in the offseason. We got ourselves an awesome offensive coordinator. Pretty sure we're going to beef up our line, our O-line, and probably our D-line a little bit this offseason. And obviously players coming back from injury, our key players, obviously starters. And, that doesn't help when you've got 3-4 guys out that are your starters on defense. Doesn't help that you've got 2 of your starting O-linemen out and or one retired the year before, which was one of your Pro Bowl linemen, especially because he's only like 28 years old or something like that, or 30 years old, 28. Anyway, he was young. And the fact that Dan Campbell had to take over play calling because our offensive coordinator that we hired from within was trash. Just a few things. I'm pretty sure we're going to bounce back next season. We're keeping our core. Obviously, injury bug. If the injury bug doesn't catch us, we have an offensive coordinator that from the Arizona who seems to be pretty solid. And the fact that, we're hopefully going to address O-line and D-line gaps in the offseason should tighten us back up and get us back where we need to be, which would be the NFC Championship and or possibly a Super Bowl run. So, it happens. All it was 1 or 2 games go either way, and we'd have been in the playoffs, and you never know. At that point, you can make some noise. I mean, we pretty much almost beat the Rams, and look at the Rams. I mean, we took the Rams down to the wire, and the Rams are about to be in the NFC Championship. Could just as well be us. It happens. It's sports. That's why sports is awesome. Anyway, the Dark 25, next one up says, man, that Moonwalker arcade game was fun, and it was 4-player classic. Yeah. Moonwalker was a greght game. And crazy thing, it's a sleeper. Not many people knew about it growing up. Moonwalker. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Not many people knew about it. IZY says NOS equals new old stock. IZY, thank you for commenting. And I should have known that. When I saw your comment pop through, I was like, yeah, I should have known new old stock. I'm such an idiot. Thank you for reminding me. But all right, next one up is TJ. Says, replying to my last comment on the previous video, of the 24,000 gross I sold last year, my cost of goods was 4,000. I had a total net profit of 12. Since this is a part-time gig for me, I'm very picky of what I buy. As of right now, my store sell-through rate is 75%. Last year, my net per sale was $32. That's pretty good. That's kind of what I was saying, like 4 or 5 times your money, 5-ish times your money, which, is about where you're at, give or take. Obviously, I have a total net profit. Obviously eBay takes its cut and things like that, but, before fees and stuff, that's not bad. In fact, Jeffrey's son, thank you for commenting as well. Let me actually thumb that up and comment real quick so I can do his as well. Jefferson Waddle I said Jeffrey's son, Jesus. Jefferson Waddle, sorry. Says, not bad for part-time, extra 1,000 a month is pretty good. It is. No, that's very good. And like I said, 4 or 5 times your money, because eBay's taking its 25-ish%. So you got to 4 or 5 times your money, pretty much. So that you did pretty good, especially only doing the Goodwills. I'm kind of shocked, to be honest, that your margin was that good, considering you were only sourcing at Goodwills, because that's essentially similar to where I'm at, 5 times my money at yard sales. Obviously not all the time, but good deal. $32. I don't know where my let me look to see. I'm curious what my service metrics. I'm curious what my per sale, not service metric. I'm gonna go sales. I'm curious what my last year, what my per sale, average sale per item, 56.84, $57. Not too bad. So last year I did a total, 2025, I did 68,000, which was down 30% because I did right at like 100,000 in 24. But obviously part of that was, I was sourcing a shit ton more because my helmet business in 24 wasn't doing as well. So if you folks that are with me that haven't been with me before, if you happen to watch to this point, I run a football memorabilia, autograph football helmet business on Facebook Live, or on Facebook, and I go on Facebook Live almost every night. So that business, I've been doing that for 7 years, going on 8 years now, and it's got its ups and downs just like anything else. 2024 was a little bit of a rougher year, but typically when I have a rougher year, I obviously focus changes to doing more eBay. So that's why 2024 was almost 100,000 on eBay, and that's why 2025 was 68,000, was because I just didn't have to focus on it as much and do as much and mess with it as much, source as much, any of it. But anyway. Net was right at 48,000. So about the eBay took about 20 grand. Obviously, taxes and stuff was another portion of that. But anyway, and then my quantity sold was 1,200 items, 1,197, 1,200 items for the year, which was down again 33% from the year prior. And then my total average sales per item was 56.84, $57 basically. So not bad. I mean, we'll see what this year holds and how this year does. And I'd imagine if my helmet sales on my football helmet business stay where I'm at right now, probably will be even a little less than 68 grand for this year, for 26. If I had to guess, just because we're doing pretty good on that side of the house. So obviously I don't have to press the metal as hard on this side of the house whenever that happens. But you never know. Mid-year could come up and I'm struggling over there, and then I ramp up this side. So we'll see. So anyway, that's let me get back to orders. All orders awaiting shipment. All right. So next comment up is but TJ Killer, congrats. Definitely good. You can't sneeze at an extra $1,000 a month, man, doing it part-time. So definitely kudos to you, sir. Chance Dizzled says, and also Jefferson, thank you for commenting and hanging out, and replying to that. Yeah, $1,000 extra a month is nothing to sneeze at, for sure. That's could be a house payment for some folks, a car payment, groceries for the month. I mean, whatever. But Chance Dizzled says, great video. Quick question: how long can you close your eBay store for? I might need a 2-month workcation. You know what? I'm not sure how long you can close that. I'm not sure. You're gonna have to look that one up. I know when I go on vacation, I think vacation mode is only good for 30 days, I believe. Could be wrong. I believe the regular vacation mode, I think, is only good for 30 days. But I'm not even 100% on that one, to be honest with you. I know when I go on vacation, I've put mine on. The longest I put mine on for was like 17 or 18 days. So I want to say 30 days is probably, actually, I don't know if there's a max. So I would try to go in like you're going to put your store on vacation mode or time away mode and just see how long it gives you. It'll tell you if you went too far. You can't do that for that long or duration or whatever. So I would just go in before you call anybody or start looking stuff up, just go into vacation mode. And the time away mode, and then see. You don't have to actually set it. Obviously you can cancel and back out of it, but go in and see how long it gives you to go out as far as, 2 months or whatever. And if it does, set it whenever you need it. If it doesn't, then start, maybe just search it, or I wouldn't call eBay per se, because you could probably find the answer quicker by just going through some forums or Google searches, and finding the answer quicker that way than calling them and waiting on hold for 15 minutes and talking to somebody that is a lot of times incompetent. I'm just going to be honest. So anyway, but that would be my suggestion first, would just go in and see how long the regular vacation mode, time away mode lets you, how far out it lets you go, and start there first. We are family. We are family. I'm not sure if this is your first comment or not. I can't remember, but thank you for commenting and hanging out. People who buy an item and return their broken one are the worst. Invisible ink pens are great, so and can tell them with, just so you know, and can call them out confidently. I agree. If returns was a problem and I had a high rate of people returning stuff, I would go that route. Luckily, my return rate is very low. In fact, I just, when I pulled up my sales stuff for last year, for 2025, I had 11 returns all of last year out of 1,200 items. I only had 11 returns. So, my return rate's very low. If I was having a problem with returns and it was high, I would certainly do that 100%. So that's definitely a good suggestion. We are family. Appreciate that. Next one up, 67 and up says, appreciate you commenting, 67 and up. I think this is your first comment with me. Thank you for hanging. Looks like it's, she's a she. So she said, correct me if I'm wrong, but she says, I've just begun selling on eBay with help from my son, who's been doing it for a while. This video is very helpful. Thank you. We'll be watching more. Lots to learn. Well, look, 67 and up, I am here to help the best that I can. Obviously, sounds like your son is, if he's been doing it a while, can certainly give you a plethora probably of help. But I'm certainly another avenue. There's always, the more the merrier kind of thing when it comes to free information and that can help you along your journey. So if I can help at all, you have any questions about situational stuff, packing stuff, shipping stuff, taxes stuff. I'm not a tax consultant by any means. I really can't give a ton of advice there, but I can just give you kind of what I do. But how to pack stuff, how to ship stuff, how to do whatever on eBay. You came across a situation on eBay, you want to know, whatever it is that you want to know. I'm an open book. I don't mind diving into certain things and kind of, I'm a talker, so I can dive in and sometimes put my foot in my mouth and ramble a bit, but that's just who I am. My wife gets annoyed at me at this point. It used to not bother her, but now we've been married 2008, 9. Well, we've been together since 2000, so 26 years now. She gets tired of me pretty quick when I start rambling. She checks out quick on me now. She used to listen to me when I rambled. Now it's like she checks out quick. Anyway, but yes, I can certainly help the best that I can, and welcome, and again, if I can help at all, just let me know. Next one up is Winston Wolf. If I also real quick, 67 and up, what is it that you, since you just started eBay, what is it that you sell? What's your, obviously not everybody has a niche. People just sell random stuff and do random and it's kind of all over the place, which used to be me. I used to be kind of all over the place. And that's how I learned, honestly, a lot, is by selling a lot of different things. That's why I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm very well versed on a lot of different stuff. At this point in my reselling journey, I've kind of niched myself into the video game market, partly because I collect them, partly because I know so much, partly because I know how to fix them now. Over the last 2-3 years, I've been tinkering and fixing and things like that. So when you have those skill sets to be able to fix things, get things working again, when you look at a bundle, boom, there's my money back, everything's gravy. Boom, there's my money back, everything's gravy. Boom, this is this is that, this is this is that. It makes it so much easier as far as I know this is 30, I know this is 50, I know this is 70, I know this is 100, because you sold so many of those things in the past that you can look at a bundle and within 30 seconds, you can pretty much, have it priced out in your mind and know exactly what's what. And even if you say to well, what if that's broke? What if that's broke? Well, I can still break even there. I can still do that. I can still make money, or I can fix it because I fixed it before. I know, if there's a problem with XYZ, I know I can fix that, fix this. So that's kind of why I've cornered myself into the video game stuff. You don't get to that level unless you niche yourself into that. And as those little hiccups come up, then then you fix those things or whatever. And because you get a lot of, with electronics, you get, unfortunately, a lot of things that are broken, missing, need repair, whatever, need click. Like last night, I had a Intellivision classic flashback console that I got from the old man that I do deals with. He clears out storage units, something I used to do. I don't do it anymore, but you network yourself into folks like that can help. They get all their video game stuff. They call you. If you're a clothes person, you network yourself into one of those folks. They call you with all their clothes, all glassware and whatever crystal, because you're into crystal and that's your niche. They call you when they come across. So you kind of get where I'm going with that. It's good to network yourself with people like that. But anyway, so he calls me. I just picked up a bundle from him a couple days ago. I went through most of it last night. One of them was the flashback Intellivision. If any of y'all are old school, remember Intellivision. I was just a wee little baby when Intellivision was in its prime or was out. But I do remember my parents had one. We played one. That was my first exposure to video games way back in the day. 80s, mid 80s, probably early 80s. Well, obviously at that point, I was probably 4 or 5 years old. So like mid 80s. Anyways, the power button and the reset button were jammed and not working and stuck. And you could tell somebody had spilt something on it, which caused the buttons to whatever. So the buttons weren't working. So I took it apart. Pretty simple. Cleaned it with isopropyl alcohol. Got the buttons to click again because they weren't clicking or anything. Got the buttons, to start clicking and responding again by just toothbrush, isopropyl alcohol, and a little bit of contact solution cleaner. Most people wouldn't think to do that. Most people would be like, oh, it's broken, chuck it, right? But when you niche yourself into a category and you know that most of this stuff is pretty simple to fix, most of the stuff is straightforward, and you kind of know what your limitations are and you know what you can and can't do, you can kind of tackle that stuff. Open it up, let me see what's going on. Took 30 minutes of my time, not even 15, 20 minutes of my time. Got it up and running, got the buttons working, put it back together, tested it out, fires up, works fine. $60 unit now that, in other words, the next person may have just thrown away. So anyway, saying all that to say, what's your niche? Again, that's me rambling, but are you niching yourself into something specific? Or you kind of right now just have a broader, like a little bit of everything. I'm going to be kind of all over, or are you like into certain things? I will say one thing that helps is reselling things that you like. Like, for example, my sister-in-law, she doesn't do eBay, but she resells stuff on Marketplace because she enjoys buying old beat up furniture. And it's a hobby for her, but it's also a way for her to make money where she fixes them, restores them, paints them like barn style and makes them look cool and nice and flashy and, barn style kind of stuff. And then she flips them for cash on a Marketplace, but that's because that's what she enjoys. So I will say one thing when it comes to reselling, especially if you're new to it, is resell things that you like, that they resell things that you enjoy. There's another caveat to that. Sometimes you want to keep some of those things. That's kind of how I got myself into the video game category, because I keep some of the video game stuff and then I resell most of it. But that's the fun part of it too. So especially if you can afford to do it, and it doesn't tie in, because if I can buy a bundle of video game stuff for $100 and I can make $400 or $500 off of it, but I can keep a $70 video game out of it or whatever. I'm still making money. I get my money back. I'm still making money, and I'm able to keep said item out of that bundle. It's a win-win-win. You know what I mean? All right, let's keep moving. Winston Wolf says those cats seem pretty chill, and maybe they will help with pests. You're real nice to let them in the garage. Winston Wolf, last night it got down to like 26 degrees. Here in my neck of the woods, which is like we got a little Arctic blast coming down and hitting us. It's pretty chilly. Yeah, I mean, we let them, this is the first year, since she's had her babies. We got rid of the other ones, but, the one is staying with her. They're buddies. So, and they look just alike, which is cute, and the kids love it. But, they're not coming in the house. But at least I can do, as long as they keep using the kitty litter, which I can't stand cleaning it every day, sweeping all the kitty litter out, or you know, in a dustpan and tossing it, because they get cat litter all over my freaking garage over there. So I always wait, you know, every time I come in the garage, come out here to do my videos and stuff, I'm like, son of a gosh, I hate that. My wife's like, well, get like a little 6x6 carpet or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but then I got to vacuum it, and then I got to shake that thing out all the time. Like, I'd rather just sweep it, put it in a dustpan, and be done. But it's just annoying that every morning, and then you got to clean out the cat litter itself, which is not the end of the world. I've had cats before. It is what it is, but it's not what I wanted to be doing. That's why I can't wait for it to get to like April. Then they can just keep their asses outside, because I'm not dealing with it anymore. They can stay in the garage from like October, November through like March, April, once that last frost and freeze and that cold front comes through, and then they're out of here for the spring, summer, and fall. They can get the hell out of here, and I don't have to deal with that. But because at this point, it's going to be as long as they stay alive. Obviously, they're feral, they're outside, they're friendly feral, but they're outside cats. This will be something we do probably regularly. The mom is all up to date on her shots. We got her fixed. We do have to do the same with the kitten. Got to get her fixed here in the next soon, and get her shots and stuff. So, but and then the deworm stuff to, you know, for parasites and anyway, it's, you know, I'm spending money on two cats that I don't even get to, that really I mean, we get to enjoy them a little bit. They come around, they come visit, and they let us pick them up and pet them and everything. I mean, they're not, you know, anyway, enough about the cats. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, that's, I'm doing my part, right? I guess. Last comment up is, Alk Campbell, ALK Campbell, just discovered you today, and I hope, and I love how real you are, dude. Keep up the great work. Well, Campbell, we'll go Campbell. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for commenting. Hopefully you subscribed. And, you know, I'm just your average Joe, just trying to make it, you know what I mean? So, and if I can share some things along the way to help you all out, or you just enjoy watching the content, hey, I love it. I love it. So again, thank you for commenting and supporting the channel. That is all the comments, folks. Let's dive into sales, because we're at that 32-minute mark, and I'd like to wrap this up here in a few, because I know the longer videos, I'm not sure how many of y'all like the longer videos. I'll just say that. So, you know, I figure normally 30 to 40 minutes is probably max tap out time for most people. But let's dive in. Call of Duty, the last Call of Duty game. So weird. I literally had these sitting for months, and then I decided to, somebody had mentioned it on a previous comment, delist and relist. This is exactly what I did. I decided to delist and relist. And where's it at? And don't you know, boom, it sold. All three of them sold for $11 free shipping, but collectively I'm still going to make like 15 bucks, 18 bucks. Nothing crazy, but you know, they're easy sales, they're easy pack and ship, and they're easy post, easy, just all easy for $18. I'll take it. Black Wii, I haven't sold a Wii in a while. I actually did the same thing. I delisted and relisted all of my Wiis, because I've got like 4 of them still, and I just got another one from the old man. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it. And don't you know, one sold for $70 plus shipping. Black Wii, kind of hard to see in there. Comes with the nunchuck, comes with the motion bar, comes with a bunch of games. They're just filler games. If you've been with me before, you know I put filler games. They're like, filler games to me is anything under 10 bucks. Sales on eBay are 8, 9, 5, 4, 7, 8. I put them as filler games. Anything at 10 or higher, typically we'll throw on eBay because it's easy, and you still make like $3 or so. It's not great, but it's a sale. But anyway, and $3 adds up over the year. I mean, it does add up. But nunchuck, controller, power, AV, the whole nine. Again, that sold for $70 plus shipping. And I have a bunch of watchers actually on the other 3 or 4 Wiis that I delisted and relisted. I may do a little bit more delist and relist this year than I've done in the past, and see how that goes, because it does tend to work and kind of reset your post or reset your listing. So some of this stuff I just did and are listed, and some of this stuff is older stuff. Let's see, Mario, I believe, Wool, Mario Kart, and Wii U. You know, every time you see Skylander stuff, every time you come across Skylander stuff, I'm always like trash. But for some reason on the Wii, they sell pretty good. Skylander Warp Trap Team. So for $20, free shipping, 20 free ship. Let's see. Love this game. New Super Mario Bros. On Wii. Always a quick seller, $28. I even bumped up the price a couple bucks from Christmas. Because I remember I sold a bunch of them over fourth quarter before Christmas. But I was like, fuck it. I'm going to put it up for $2 more and see if it sells. Still sold. $28 plus shipping. And I've bumped up my shipping from $6 or $5 to $6 on games. So that's something else because shipping rates have gone up a little bit. This month they're going up. I think they've already gone up or they'll be going up here soon. All of my video games, I've always done like $5 on. I'm doing $6 on at this point. So everything from now on that I put up at $6. All my controllers used to be at $6. Now they're going to be $7. So I'm bumping up all my fixed selling prices. I'm bumping up $1 to offset, and again, sold no problem. So it was $2 more for the item and $1 more for shipping. And the bad boy still went $28 plus shipping. Goodbye. Probably could sell those for $30 and they'd still sell. This isn't it. Mario Kart. What am I doing? Mario Kart. I think this one sold too, if I'm not mistaken. But Mario Kart sold for $18 plus. I'm sorry, $18 free shipping on this one. 18 free ship on that one. Mario Kart. The same thing with Mario Kart, man. Mario Kart and Zelda. A lot of these were ones I just put up because I just had another bundle I picked up not too long ago. Mario Kart and Zelda. There it is. So Mario Kart. Mario Kart's one that I probably undervalue as well, but I ended up $38 plus shipping on that one. Again, $7 shipping. $6 shipping on that one. So I probably could have put it at $40 and it still would have went because it's in really good condition. Zelda Breath of the Wild Wii U sold for $26 free shipping, 26 free ship. Dead Cloud or Dark Cloud. There's Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud for PS2 sold for $27, disc only, $27, free shipping on that one. Now, obviously, anytime I sell a loose game, I throw it in a janky case that I've picked up through a collection. Obviously, I also put bubble wrap in between the case, so I always take me a little piece of bubble wrap, kind of like this. If you don't do this and you sell video games, I do highly recommend it. Just take you a little piece of bubble wrap, fold it in half kind of thing, put it inside of the game. Because I have gotten games where they have popped loose in the case and that helps keep them from popping out of there. So I'll do that with all those games before I put them in an envelope. But anyway, so that's I would recommend doing that. Yoshi Woolly World sold for $19.50 plus shipping. $19.50 plus shipping. Soul Calibur and Portal. I just put these up too. Soul Calibur and Portal. Soul Calibur. That's not the right one. Anyway, I need to relist that because the other one sold already. So yeah, this goes back to just crazy. I have another Soul Calibur sitting there. I didn't realize I had one up on eBay. Sometimes that happens when you resell video games. You have multiples. You don't realize you have one up. But that one's still sitting in there, and this one sold. Like, it doesn't make no sense. So I need to go in there and look to see what price I have on that one and change the price or unlist it or delist it and relist it. Maybe it'll sell. But anyway, Soul Calibur, Xbox 360, 15 free ship. Portal 2, Xbox 360, 15 free ship. So, you know, you make about $7-8 a pop on those. Can't complain. $9 maybe, maybe not $9, but $7-8 on those. So not too bad. Trench coat. Let me grab the trench coat. So this is something I do. Talking about Goodwills. This is probably one I picked up at Goodwill. It's been a while. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But is it in here? It might be in that bin. I bet it's in that bin. Yeah, I bet it's in the bin. So speaking of, great. I got so many boxes here. Speaking of Goodwills, one thing I do pick up because I'm in a military town. Whenever I would go to Goodwills, and it shows you how long it's probably been. I've probably had this thing for probably at least a year and a half, because it's been a while since I've been to the Goodwill. But anyhow, please let it be in here. Trench coats, because I'm in a military town. The trench coats, the military issue trench coats, always sell decently. Well, I'm not gonna say always sell, because obviously it's been a while, but they do sell. Maybe in this case I had it priced too high. I don't know. Probably had it priced too high, because I had it for like up there for like $50 or something, and somebody sent me an offer for $28 and I took it. I think I pick them up at the Goodwill for like $10. And I don't know if I got this one at Goodwill or not, or whether I picked this one up at, it definitely needs some cleaning. It's been sitting in there for a while. But anyway, the Army issue trench coats, I'm gonna have to take a little, oh yeah, the cats somehow got in this. Y'all can hang out with me for a few extra minutes. How about that? So, but yeah, so the trench coats, Army issue trench coats, I'll show it off in just a second. Like I said, normally they sell, I've sold quite a many of them in my time, but I don't pick them up a ton anymore, because you don't come across them a ton. But at the Goodwills, a lot of the Army guys get rid of these, but they're normally not in very good condition, so I don't pick them up. And unless they're in good condition, they don't sell the great. I mean, they're not going to sell as easily as ones that are in good condition. And then the other problem is they got the wool interior, the inner lining. So that's the other problem. I don't want to get a negative feedback. There was cat hair all over the trench coat. So that's the other problem, is typically when you come across them, even if they're priced well, they're missing the wool inner lining, which this one was not. So, and like I said, I wouldn't spend more than $10 on one of these anyway, because you get maybe $30 out of them, give or take. I know new, they're crazy. I think they're like $200 new, if you Army issue, when you get them from the Army. Yeah, there's cat hair all over that. So luckily I don't have to do this often. So this I would have to get me a roller, because but the cats were for a little while. I've got two bins here. The bin on the bottom, I didn't have a bin on top. There was just one bin, because I've got all my big heavier jackets in the one bin. And the cats, one night were sleeping in the bin. We got a little spot for them to sleep on the other side of the garage, little pillow and everything, and they normally sleep there, but I woke up one morning and they were all over my stuff in here, and of course they got cat hair all over everything. So it was only one night, I believe, of them sleeping in there. So I grabbed another bin and I put it on top of that bin, so they couldn't get in and get on top of the clothes anymore. And I knew when I sold something out of there that I would have to kind of go through and get the tape off. So now you guys get to hang out with me while I get all the tape off the jacket, or get all the tape off the jacket, get all the hair off the jacket. That's pretty good, I think. Maybe a little bit more here in the front. Yeah, a little bit more here in the front. Them darn cats. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, if they were laying all over my inventory all the time, they normally lay on that blanket or that pillow we have for them. So it works out. They use the cat litter, so it works out. They don't claw up a bunch of my stuff, so it works. But if they were doing any of those things, they'd have to be outside all the time. All right, I think we're almost there. A little bit more hair right here, and then I think we're in good shape. At least good enough to where I'd imagine whoever buys this is gonna, you know, I know if I bought something, I don't buy used clothes, but if I ever bought used clothes off eBay, I would certainly want to wash them, just because you never know. But I'd imagine they're gonna clean it too, to some degree. Maybe not. I mean, it's not. It looks good. It does have a little hair on it still, obviously, but it ain't gonna be perfect. Watch me get a negative feedback still on this. It had cat hair on it. I'm like, man, I tried to get as much off as I could. I mean, look, there's some stragglers on there, but there's not like clumps like there was. So I think we're in good shape. I think we're in good shape. Okay. All right. So anyway, Army issue trench coat. Damn it. I still have a little bit right there. I'm gonna grab this little spot. I'm sure I'm gonna see more, have to do more. And of course, they're white cats, so their hair just shows up. Oh, terrible. Let me go shake it out one good time. 1 second. How you looking? Ay, ay, ay. Look, if I get negative, I get negative. I'm not gonna fret. When you look at it in the sun, it's like, man, it needs a lint roller to it for sure. It's not clumpy like it was, but anyway, it's going out as far as I'm concerned. There you go. It's got the inner lining. Anyway, Army issue trench coat, blue. So there's that. Put that right there for now. And I just lost a controller. Okay. All right. So Army issued trench coat, $28 plus shipping. There's that. Soul Calibur, Yoshi, Portal, Just Dance. Let me show off a knockoff Wii remote with the cord. So for $20 plus shipping. Just Dance Wii U. Just Dance. Must be over here. Just Dance. Gold edition Wii U sold for $15 free shipping. Just Dance. Wii Deluxe. I'm sorry, Mario Deluxe on Switch. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on the Switch. Sold for $35 plus shipping. $35 plus ship. I redid a SP Advance SP over the weekend. I put a new ISP or ISP screen on it, and then I take out the old screens, sell them OEM. It doesn't have really any scratches or anything on it, but I did a swap on one because it was in terrible condition. So I reshelled it and put a new screen in it. You can resell the screen, sold for $25 plus shipping on the screen. So the cool thing is there, and again, it goes back to just niching in and knowing your stuff. I buy the IPS screen off of, I can't remember the site right now, but it's not Team, is it Temu? Anyway, it's the super bright, you know, LCD IPS screens, whatever. They're like $60 or $50. You buy those, and then anytime I come across, and then I have a couple shells, new shells for the Game Boy Advance, Advance SP, Game Boy Color. I've got a couple of them, couple of each, and a couple screens for each. So when I come across one like I did in this bundle, which I just picked up like a week or two ago, the shell was shot. It was so scratched to heck. It was terrible. The inside, you flip it, and it looks pretty good. And the screen is in nice condition, but the outside was just scratched to all get out. So I reshelled it, took the screen out of it, sold the screen for $25. So I'm actually only in a new screen for like $30, give or take, $35, give or take. And then you can ask a premium on a reshelled new IPS screen. Normally I can get like 150 to 200 out of the reshelled and new IPS screen. Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Advance SP. You can normally sell those for about 150 to 200 bucks. Which, you know, it works. So, and then you sell the old screen for, especially if it's in good condition, for $25 plus shipping. So that goes back to just kind of knowing how it all works and turns and stuff. Literally just put these up last night. In fact, quite a bit of this stuff I put up in the past like 3 days. Wii Motion Plus, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Wii Motion Plus controllers, Wii Motion Plus, even the regular Wii controllers, they just don't go for as much, sell well. Would you pair them with a nunchuck? Sold for $30 a piece plus shipping. Both of them, just put them up like 2 days ago. They already sold, gone. Both of them to the same person. I'm telling you, man, Wii remotes. I love getting a big Wii bundle that has a bunch of Wii remotes, especially Motion Plus, because, you know, they usually, the controllers sell way better than the systems, and the games sell pretty good. Your Mario Karts and things like that sell sell very well too. The systems don't sell well. The peripherals and games sell well. I don't understand. I wish the system sold well. Anyway, Fallout on Xbox One sold for $22 plus shipping. 22 plus ship. So pretty easy pack and ship day. Lots of games, one system, some controllers. Probably take me 20 minutes to get all this stuff packed up. 25 minutes. Just in time for the mail person to get through, and hopefully it's my mail lady because she's awesome. But we'd like to chit chat whenever I see her. But that's all I have for you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Obviously longer video than normal. We're almost at an hour, which is, I'm sorry, I ramble. But we had some stuff to cover, right? We had things to go over. Anyway, that's all I have for y'all. Hopefully your sales are going well. Continue to go well. Oh, my total was 18 sales for $603.02. $603.02 for all that stuff. Obviously, I can't talk. Obviously, that's not including shipping and fees. But total was $603.02. Oh, pretty much hitting goal or close to it for the 3 days, or 2.5 days, 3 days, whatever, between Friday and now. 3 days, we'll call it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. So that's all I got for y'all. Appreciate y'all once again. Again, ask questions, like video, watch the content. Thank y'all so much for subscribe. Do that. But thank y'all so much for hanging out, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Assuming we have sales, I'll be back tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Oh, and list. I'm half, 3/4 of this stuff sold because I either delisted, relisted, or just listed it in the past, I don't know, week or so. So listing helps the wheel turn. Bye, everybody.